The Electoral Commission says data from its just ended nationwide registration exercise justifies its push to have a new electoral roll compiled. Provisional data put out by the EC today has a total of registered Ghanaians at 16.6 million. Or Deputy Chairperson Dr. Bosman Asari says this is consistent with data from the Ghana Statistical Service regarding the total number of Ghanaians above the age of 18. He's been addressing a news conference in Accra earlier today.
We've been hearing people are talking about the 2019 register. Had a total of 16,845,420 voters. 16,845,420 voters. Apart from this, we also had 797,493 people quarantined, who were quarantined. In other words, they were prohibited from voting. These people were on the duplicates and the exceptions list. The political parties are aware of this. This list was gathered from 2012. People who tried to register double, so they were prevented from voting. And these people make up almost 800,000. So when this is added to the registered voters of 2019, what it means is that overall the total registered will be 17.6, a little over 17.6 million Ghanaians. Had the Commission maintained the old register and conducted a limited registration exercise in all electoral areas and registration centers across the country, we would have estimated to conservatively, that's at the minimum, add about 2 million Ghanaians onto the existing register. And I know this is basic mathematics. 16.8 plus 2 billion will give us what? 18.8. Is that not so? So what we are saying is that without the compilation of the new voters register, the Commission was on track to register some 90 million people plus another 800,000 people who remain on the multiple list. This would have given us a total number of almost 19.6 million persons. Approximately 20 million had we maintained the old register and done the limited registration, as compared to the current figure of 16.63 million. Some 3 million difference. With the compilation of this register, those on the duplicates exception list from 2012 have had the opportunity to also register. And still the Commission is well within about 52%, 53% of Ghana's population. In conclusion, the Commission's objective of ensuring a credible register is on track. With an estimated population of 31 million Ghanaians, many experts will agree that a voter population between 50% to 55% of the total population for a country in sub-Saharan Africa like Ghana is completely acceptable.
Well, Dr. Bosman Asari also noted that this will be the last mass register to be compiled. He explains why.
This commission has said that this is going to be the last time where we are going to compile a register, a mass register like this. And even beyond that, the commission is anticipating that in future register compilation, that when we are adding people onto it, everyone will come with an identity document, which is the passport and the Ghana card. So that's why we want to do everything possible. The deduplication process has been triggered. We want to make sure that all those who don't qualify to be on the roll are removed. We are doing everything possible to ensure that we have a register that is very credible, so that we won't come back to Ghanaians and say we are going to do that. But this commission has made that point very clear, that we are only going to be adding on to this particular register. So no new register, at least in the next foreseeable future.
So let's do some analysis of the issues that have been raised at that EC press conference today. We're joined by President of Policy Think Tank Imani Africa, Franklin Kujo. Many thanks for your time. Now, consistently, we've heard from the Commission that the previous register was bloated and not credible, and that this particular registration exercise has justified that. Are you assured by its justification?
Well, first of all, those claims are just akin to the NPC Director of Communications claim that the Bulgarian
Mr. Kujo,
can you hear me?
Yes, but the line is not too good. If you can reposition yourself. Much better now. Much better.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm just saying that those comments are akin to the MPP Director of Communications claims that the Voltarian vote has always increased. When consistently, after every rule, the Voltarian voter population is almost reduced. First of all, I'd like to understand what it means by
Well, it seems that the line to Mr. Franklin Cudjoe is not the best. We'll try and reconnect with him again. But of course, the story is that the EC has been justifying why it compiled this particular registration electoral roll. And he says that the just ended nationwide registration exercise justifies its push to have the roll compiled. According to the commission, today, the total registered Ghanaians the number of total registered Ghanaians is 16.6 million. That's the provisional data put out by the EC. And it says that it's consistent with data from the Ghana Statistical Service, particularly regarding the total number of Ghanaians above the age of 18. And we've been hearing from Dr. Bosman Asare, who is Deputy Chairman of the Electoral Commission. Asare, as you heard there, has also been explaining why this will be the last mass register to be compiled. You're still here with me, Arba Kumson, on Election Brief. And I do understand that Mr. Franklin Cudjoe is back on the line. Mr. Cudjoe, please pick up from where you left off.
Yes, as I was just saying, that the permutations made by the EC justifying the need for this new register is unfounded, because if you look carefully, the rate of increase has always been pretty consistent since 2012, since we went biometric. So it is not true that they are giving all this credence to the fact that there should have been a need for a register. The statistics bear us out. Even his claim that almost 53%, which is a departure of 56% under the previous rule, if we took into consideration the fact that there was a pandemic, the registration days in itself was reduced from the usual 40 to almost how many days? About 5 more days. The projections they have is pretty much what we'd have expected anyway. So there's absolutely no evidence whatsoever that there is some sudden, abrupt, unexpected, and inexplicable events leading to this inflation situation. It really doesn't bear the evidence doesn't bear it as at all. If you do an analysis of the data, you see that it's pretty much consistent, which is why we're saying that it was needless to have conducted this whole exercise, really.
Now, Dr. Bosman Asare also makes the point that this will be the last mass register to be compiled. I mean, you've had cause to doubt the credibility of the rule, even with all the assurances they've given. But from where you stand, has all that is required been done to ensure that we don't go back to compiling another register when a new government, for example, assumes office?
First of all, this register was obtained under duress, under all the state's power, almost all the 3 arms of government. In a way, managed to suppress the process. I mean, managed to arrange the process in such a way that people who had legitimate cards were excluded. Now, if you realize that almost 40% of the rule is made out of people who were vouched for, and Codio's data that almost 30% of the registration centers had dubious guarantors, it beggars belief why anybody would think that this register is so credible. I mean, you went on saying that the old register is not credible because people had ineligible cards. But you were willing to have almost 30% of your polling stations, resulting in almost 40% of your own data of guarantors, of guaranteed voters, whose fidelities are dubious at this stage. So the point really is that it doesn't lie in the mouth of the EC to be saying that they've done a yeoman's job, and so there'll be no need for any mass registration in the future. I submit, and in this view, really, that what was sought to be obtained, a credible register, is not, because there are potentially 40% of registrants.
Right. Right. All right. Many thanks for your time. That's Franklin Cudjoe. He is president of Imani Africa, which is a policy think tank.